Hello internet. I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a long time since my last video. I thought I'm gonna do one today. Unfortunately, I don't have my body camera with me, so I'm just using a dash camera at the moment. So I hope it records okay, the voice and the video, but I hope. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I thought I'm gonna make a video giving some more details about buses. So the funny thing, like in some of my videos, people are commenting, why is the driver screaming? Why is he so angry? But the thing is, like in the buses, because you have that plastic screen, it blocks part of the noise, so you have to speak much louder so people can hear you. And as well, the same thing goes for the passengers. They have to speak much louder so you can hear them as well. So that's why I'm speaking louder on my videos as a bus driver, because the plastic screen is blocking a whole lot of the noise, and there is as well the engine noise or the radio inside the cab, so it's a whole lot of noise pollution. So if you want to speak with somebody outside of the cab, you have to speak louder. It's not because I'm angry, it's just because I have to speak louder. Otherwise they cannot hear me, and I can't hear them as well. So now we're going towards London. We're going back home. But as a bus driver, the big problem is the video that I posted when I was quitting. That video, unfortunately, as I have said in that video, I was stressed. I was very, very stressed. And when I quit the bus driving industry, I took a break of almost 2 months. And you know, the first couple of weeks, I was unable to sleep properly at all because I was very stressed. And the shifts when you're a bus driver in London, the shifts are 1 week you're doing early shifts, 1 week you're doing middle shifts, 1 week you're doing late shifts. Sometimes that's not the case always. Like they can be for 2 or 3 weeks, they can put you late, for 2 or 3 weeks early or whatever. It's supposed to be 1 week early, 1 week middle, 1 week late. But because of irregular sleep pattern, because if you are early shift, you have to be sometimes the first bus. And what time is the first bus? Sometimes the first bus is 4:30 in the morning. So for this whole week, you'll have to wake up for that shift, which is maybe 3 o'clock. You'll have to wake up 3 o'clock in the morning. Next week, they may put you on middle shift next week, which means next week you'll be starting work between 9 and 12. Maybe between 9 and 2 even. So you'll be waking up late in the morning. When they put you after this, the third week they will put you on a late shifts. The late shifts, you finish them after midnight. So, and after the third week, you're back to morning shifts. So, the third week, you're finishing after midnight, you're going home 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, and the week after that that's the time you'll be waking up for your shifts. So what happens is you end up with irregular sleep pattern. So your sleep pattern is ruined and your sleep is obviously affected. There is people that they don't have that issue. They don't have issue with irregular sleep pattern and they can just work like that, they can live like that with no issues. But that's not the case for most of the people. They have issues with irregular sleep pattern, and in general they do have issues, so that's a big problem. And if those issues are not enough, then you have IBUS. IBUS is the bus controllers. They are the people on the radio. It's them and the TFL as well, the traffic. So usually it's the IBUS, which is the controllers that you hear on the radio. So these guys, they are there to be controlling the buses, supposedly. Some of them do very good job. Some of them are flat out just trying to bully you. And for example, I will give you a couple of examples. Imagine there is roadworks. So you have roadworks, and because of roadworks, as you know, there is slow traffic, sometimes there is big delays, and because of those big delays, your bus is delayed. It can be delayed by 10, 20, 30 minutes, sometimes even an hour if there is an accident. And what happens is, because when you reach the terminus, which is the final stop of your bus route, when you reach that final bus stop, usually they give you anywhere between 3, sometimes 10 minutes, between 3 to 10 minutes. And if there was any delay, obviously if you are 10 minutes late, you cannot depart on your scheduled time always. So what happens is, IBUS will call you on the radio and they will ask you, driver, can you depart straight away for your next trip? So now you will think, yeah, big deal, just tell them no. And yeah, of course, yeah, that's what you tell them, no. However, on the next bus trip, because you're already late 10 minutes, you cannot catch up those 10 minutes. There is roadworks, so you'll be delayed again. And they are gonna call you again on the radio. Driver, can you depart as soon as possible? So now, what's happening is, you're being called again and again and again, and they ask you the same question, which is putting a lot of pressure on you. And once again, you can say, yeah, it's a big deal. You just say no, it's somebody on the phone, you don't even see that person. But that's the same thing as when you have credit that you have to pay to, or a loan or a mortgage. When they call you on the phone, you don't like it, yeah? You don't like to be called and being pressured to do something. Especially if you don't have to do it, because the unions have agreed that you'll have minimum 3 minutes break when between trips. So IBUS don't care about that. They don't care about your 3 minutes or your 5 minutes. They don't give a fuck about it. They will pressure you so you depart straight away. That's what they do. So that's stress. So you have irregular sleep pattern, you have stress from IBUS. Now, next thing. Next thing is obviously it's a bus company. The bus companies, especially London buses. London buses, their insurance is done by the company itself, because they have a very large fleets of buses, and because of how many buses are there and what is the value of those buses, the insurance companies don't want to insure those buses, or the premiums are very high. So the bus companies do their own insurance, and because they do their own insurance, very often drivers are trying to do insurance fraud. So they always try to cut in front of the bus, they will be driving very close to the bus. They will do their best just so they can claim that insurance from the bus company. So that's extra stress, and you'll be surprised as a bus how often drivers intentionally drive close to you, or how often intentionally they put you in position where if you don't slow down, you will damage their vehicle. They intentionally put themselves in that position where their vehicle will be damaged if you don't press the brakes. So you have to be always vigilant. Then you have the cyclists, the motorcycles as well, pedestrians, which obviously depending on the area, there can be obviously central London, there is a whole lot of pedestrians and cyclists, especially cyclists in central London. So you have to be extra careful about those people because accidents happen very easy. And then there is the passengers. Some of them, as you have seen on my videos, they're just there to do a stupid thing that day. They wake up in the morning and they think, okay, I feel like doing something stupid today. I feel like ruining the day of somebody. So what can I do today to fuck up the day of somebody else? And of course, the easiest target for them is either a supermarket employee or obviously the bus driver. Because the bus driver, what the bus driver can do? He will call security. There is no security on the bus. He will call the police. The police will come in minimum half an hour. Literally, if there is a major accident where life is threatened, the police will come in 10 to 15 minutes. Even if there is a knife, somebody is holding a knife threatening another person on the bus, it will be 10 minutes or more before the police arrives. If you are lucky, there's gonna be a patrol or whatever it is nearby, they will come. But if there is not a unit stationed near your location, it's gonna be 10 or more minutes. So you have a whole lot of things like irregular sleep pattern, stress of work, stress with the passengers, cars and other vehicles that are trying to do insurance fraud. So your day is not easy at all. And let's not mention, as I have already said, that you're supposed to have 3-minute or 5-minute break between each trip so you can carry out, so you can do paperwork, so you can check the vehicle before the next trip. But as I told you, IBUS, they just call you and they tell you, can you depart straight away please, or as soon as possible. So yeah, it's not easy being a bus driver. It's not easy at all. You have to, the two qualities that you have to have as a bus driver. Number one, I mean for London, you must not give a fuck about the passengers. You just have to ignore everything. All the fights, all the swearing, all the people knocking on the windows, you have to ignore all of that. Well, obviously somebody is fighting on the bus, you have to stop the bus and make sure that they don't harm each other. But other than that, they can swear, they can scream, they can do whatever. Like, you have to ignore that if you want to be a bus driver. Unlike me, obviously on my videos you can see I don't ignore anything. And the other thing is your sleep pattern. You will have no sleep pattern for you. So you'll have to live with that. And another bus driver that I know, a friend of mine, at the moment he's having as well hard time. Like, he has some mental problems because he was unable to get enough sleep, obviously, of the irregular sleep pattern that you cannot get enough sleep, you cannot get proper sleep at all. So that person had mental problems, and now he's in therapy, obviously. He's not allowed to drive the bus at the moment, but he did couple of shifts because even the NHS, because he went to the NHS therapist, and the therapist told him, listen, you cannot drive in that condition that you are at the moment, that mental state, you cannot drive the bus or any other vehicle, you cannot drive. Nevertheless, the garage manager called him and asked him to do a shift, and the garage manager knows that the NHS therapist is not recommending him to drive a bus. He's not supposed to. Not just not recommending. The NHS therapist told him, you are not to drive a bus in that condition. And the garage manager just asked him, and he agreed, because when you're a bus driver, you get stressed, you are very tired, so your mental state is, you don't have the strength to fight back. Your brain is just too tired, your body is too tired, so you cannot fight them back. So he did not say no to the driver, to the garage manager. He just said, yeah, okay, I will come tomorrow. So he was driving the next day. So what happened? The NHS therapist came to the house asking why did he not came to that session that he had today in the morning. He was supposed to be there 11 o'clock for his session, for his therapy session with the team, because it's not only one therapist, they literally have assigned him a whole team to take care of that person. But because the driver manager, the garage manager, asked him to work that day, he was unable to attend that session. So it's a very bad situation with all the buses and in London. And the problem is the management. That's the biggest problem. Because management, they don't care about you. They don't know who you are. For them, you are just a number. They know only one thing. They know your pay number, and they know that this pay number is supposed to be working on those dates. That's it. That's all they care about. They don't care about your mental state. They don't care about your financial problems. They don't care about your family problems. And the worst of all, they don't care about the vehicle you're driving. Very often those vehicles, the heating is not working, the air conditioning is not working in the summer. Sometimes even the doors are not working properly. And I have called, guys, the door is not closing properly. If a student or if anybody leans on that door, the door just opens. And they tell me, okay, just go in service, which means carry passengers all the way to the changeover point, and then we will change your bus. So even after I called that I have a faulty door that cannot close properly, if a passenger leans on that door, he will just fall out of the bus. They tell me just drive it with passengers on board. And yeah, you can say you are supposed to refuse to drive it. But as I have said, you can refuse only so many times. After a while, your body is tired, your brain is tired, and you don't have the strength to fight back. And the pressure from the management and IBUS just keeps on coming. It never stops. They don't care about it. So, unfortunately, that's the situation. And as I said in my previous video about the overtime, I will explain now in more details. The overtime is unfortunately something that every bus company is doing their best not to pay your overtime. They literally they go out of their way not to pay your overtime. What I mean by that, when you do overtime, you have to do manually a paperwork. Manually, you have to fill a docket. You have to fill all the details. You have to sign it as well. And I have said, sometimes they just lose them and they don't do them. And what I mean by saying they go out of their way not to pay the overtime, by that I mean that these people, when you begin your shift, you log in into the system, so they know that you have just logged in into the system. They know you're in the garage. They know you're starting that shift. After this, when you take the bus, you log in into the system there as well with your pay number. So they know that you are driving that bus. They know where you are with that bus. So at the end of the day, they can see that you are driving that bus. That's recorded on the system as well. It's on the TFL system and it's on the company system as well. They can see that information. That information is saved. Then at the end of the day, you go back to the garage and you log out of the system. So now they have your login time, they have your driving time, they have your logout time as well. Nevertheless, they don't care about that data. They ignore that data. And if you have done any overtime, they don't care that is logged in the system. They want you to manually sign a paperwork. Otherwise, they will not pay your overtime. So many times I have seen drivers and I will ask them, brother, today, are you finishing on time? And they will say, no, it was too much traffic. I was delayed, so now I finished 5 minutes late. I finished 9 minutes late. I finished 15 minutes late. And I see them, they just log out of the system and they walk out. And I stop them at the door and I tell them, sorry brother, are you gonna do a docket? Did you do a docket for your overtime to be paid? And they tell me, no, I'm too tired. I just want to go home. And that's the mentality. You don't have the power, you don't have the strength to fight back. So what they do is like every day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes per day. At the end of the month, that's 5 or more hours you don't get paid. Not at the end of the month, around the end of the month. That's about there. At the end of the year, it's 60 hours not paid. At the end of the year, every driver loses between 5 and 100 and 1,000 pounds. Every single driver, because they don't fill their overtime docket. So those garages, they have hundreds of drivers, so they get hundreds of thousands of pounds of not paid overtime, and they pocket that money for the shareholders, for the owners. And then you have the drivers going on strike because they want more higher pay rate. But the bus company don't give a fuck. They have already pocketed the hundreds of thousands of pounds of unpaid overtime. It's already in their pocket. They don't care about the drivers. And why will they care about the drivers? That's a private company, and as any business, the point and the goal of that business is to make money. So they make money. They don't care about the drivers or what rate they pay the driver, as long as the driver works. So that's the thing. And imagine if instead of the drivers going on strike for higher pay rate, just their overtime is paid properly. How simple a solution that is. Every driver will get 1,000 or more pounds per year extra. That's simple. Just pay their overtime. Then at least they will know why they feel tired. They will get those money. At least they know that they're getting paid for working those extra time hours. But and you know, it's been a couple of times I will stop the bus, and as I stop the bus, a teenager or a small young boy, young girl, somebody, young child will approach, and they will ask me, sometimes they're even with their parents, can I take a picture of the bus? Can I come inside, take pictures? Can I sit inside the cab? Can I sit inside the cab so my mother or father take a picture of me? And yeah, usually, of course, I say yes. If I'm not about to depart, I always say yes, because it's a very, very nice thing like to see the young people having that motivation, having that goal, that aspiration of bus driving, because it's a good job, it's an honorable job. You're moving the people, you're moving all the citizens of that country, you're moving them around. And as I said, you move them, you get the children to their schools, you get the old people to the hospital, to their shopping, then you get them home. You get everybody else to their job, or just to get out or whatever they're going, traveling, anything. It's a really nice thing, really honorable job. But there is the things that make it a nightmare, which they are not nice things. None of them are nice things. And that's why I'm always friendly towards those young people, because I can see that they want to be bus drivers. I know it's a good profession, and I'm always very friendly towards them, because I hope that when their time comes to drive those buses, maybe they will have better conditions, and maybe their dream will pay off and actually be alive for them as a bus drivers, that they can enjoy and live to the full potential of that job, because it can be very, very rewarding, and I have had many nice moments. Anyone that want to be a bus driver, guys, best of luck. If you have any questions, just post them in the comment section of that video. I will try to answer as many of the questions as I can. As you know, I always reply to the comments, any questions. If you are rude or offensive or just speak disrespectfully, I will just block you. So don't be a dick, yeah? Don't be a dick in the comment section, because even in the comment section I can get you blocked as well. So it doesn't matter if you're inside my bus or inside my YouTube comments, I can still block you. So be respectful, and if you have anything to say that is not positive, make sure to explain why you say that thing. Explain, like, for example, that driver is a very rude. Explain why is that driver very rude. Yeah? Make sure that you show that your brain is working. It's not just spitting a bunch of bullshit, because that's what a lot of the comments that I delete usually are. And I don't get affected by those people, because I was a bus driver. Like, I have met those people face to face. Their comment on my video will never affect me as much as meeting those people face to face. So I'm not worried at all. But you'll just get blocked. And anyway, it's your choice. Your choice. You have a head on your shoulders. It's up to you how you use that head. For now, I just chose to be a lorry driver. I'm driving the lorry, moving stuff around. There is a whole lot of different professions. But I chose to be a driver because I love traveling. And most of all, I love interacting with people. And the job that I'm doing at the moment, I have multiple interactions per day because I'm doing multiple deliveries. Now, as to what I'm delivering, I'm working for one of the biggest companies that are in that branch in the whole of UK. I'm very happy that I'm working for that company. But because I always wanted to try to be, either to drive articulated lorry, which is class 1, or to drive a train. But one day I met a bus, a training bus at the Heston services when I was having my break with the guys. And I approached that training bus. I saw the instructor and I spoke with him. I think his name was John. Maybe it was John, I am not sure. I think it was John. From back up in, it was named Abellio, but now Abellio is renamed to Transport UK. But back in then it was John from Abellio. And I asked him, John, how is working as a bus driver? Do you guys get paid regularly? Do you get enough hours to pay your bills at the end of the month? Do you have nice life and work balance? And he told me, yeah, it's okay, it's a decent job, and you have nice life and work balance. And he gave me his phone number. He told me how to apply to be a bus driver. He told me, you know, because you're a lorry driver, you will have no trouble getting your license for the bus. So that's what I did. I informed my job, which is, I'm doing the same job now, yeah. I was doing this very same job that I'm doing now for that very same company before I became a bus driver. So I informed the company, guys, I want to try to be a bus driver. So I'm applying there, and if I don't like it, I may be back, which I did obviously, 2 years later almost. And I went for my interview with the HR to do some paperwork as well. And the HR, they asked me, why do you want to be a bus driver? So I told them I met one of your instructors, name is John at the Heston services. I told them the whole story. I told him, he told me that there is good life and work balance, that I won't be doing 11 and 12 hour shifts. And the HR person told me, yes, that's correct. As a bus driver, you will have nice life and work balance. And I did my training, got my license, did my bus route learning, did my induction in the garage, and I went on my first week as a bus driver. The two bus routes that I have learned, they were the E7 and E5. So the E5 I learned no problems, but the E7 we did only 2 trips on that one. Not 2 trips, actually we did 2 trips, and the other ones were half trips up to the curtailment point. So they were not complete trips. So at Riceley I forgot where I'm supposed to go, because it have two different routes depending on the time of the day. And what happened was, I did not sign that I know this bus route, because they give you paperwork that you have to sign that you know this bus route and you're ready to drive it. But I did not sign it. So they put me on the E5, and I did 2 days on the E5, I think. 2 days or 3 days, I don't remember. And the first day I had a buddy driver with me, and she helped me. Obviously, I still got one turn wrong, so passengers, they come screaming, driver, driver, where is this bus going? What is this bus? How am I gonna go home now? So yeah, that is good that I had a buddy driver with me, so she can explain to them that I made a mistake, but we're gonna be back on route on the next traffic light. So 3 days later, they put me on the E7, and I called them straight away on the phone. Guys, the E7, I don't know that bus route. I don't know it properly. I have not signed the paperwork that I know this route, so I have told you I don't know it, I have not signed. And they told me, okay, so just call tomorrow, and you'll speak with the location, and he will change it. And I told them, but tomorrow is Sunday. Tomorrow Sunday there is no location. And they're like, oh, don't worry, just call in the morning. So on Sunday I call in the morning. And Sunday morning I call, and nobody answers the phone. 1 hour later I call again. Nobody answers the phone. 1 hour later I call again. Nobody answers the phone. So by lunchtime, I called the CDM. I don't forgot what CDM stands for. It was Central something. I don't know, whatever. I don't get it. I called the CDM and I told them the situation. I explained I don't know this bus route location. It's not answering the phone. So what the location did was, he told me, okay, tomorrow just go to the depot for your starting time, and they're gonna change it. Okay, so car keep going on. Yeah, we're gonna overtake. So I went for my starting time, and I spoke with the guy that was downstairs, the manager or whoever was downstairs the beginning of the shift. And I explained to him I don't know this bus route, and the CDM told me that you're gonna change me back to the E5. So the guy told me, you know what, I cannot change it now, it's too late, so you'll just have to drive it. So just go into the bus, don't worry, just drive. And I told him, brother, I don't know the route. And then he told me again, get into the bus, don't worry, just drive. So, you guessed it, as a new bus driver, and you know, I have experience driving, obviously, I'm not a rookie driver. And I knew part of the route. I didn't know the Riceley part. So I'm like, okay, whatever. If I have any problems, I will give a call. So I do my first use checks, I do my paperwork, I get inside the bus, I depart from the depot. And I had to do, my first run was starting at Riceley. So I'm doing my light run towards Riceley. And as I passed White Hart roundabout, I went to Polish War Memorial, and I went all the way to the Riceley. However, I was unable to find the Riceley station entrance because I did not remember where it was. I know that I had to be the Riceley station entrance, but I don't remember where it is, so I just kept driving in circles. So I made 2 circles around the station, not the station, in the area. I was making circles. So I made 2 circles. I checked the clock. I'm already half an hour late for my departure time from Risley. And I'm thinking, oh shit, what I'm gonna do now? So I just stopped at one bus stop, and when I stopped at the bus stop, I called IBUS and I told them, listen guys, I don't know the route, I got lost, I don't know where my starting point is, can you help me? And because they track the bus, they can see where I am. They just told me, okay, just keep going straight, you will see a traffic light. At that traffic light you have to turn left and then right, and that's where the Risley station is, that's where your starting point is. So yeah, this is a real story. As a bus driver, even if you tell them I don't know the route, I will get lost, they tell you don't worry, just drive, because it's a business. They have to make money. They don't worry if you get lost or not. That bus have to be out on the road, no matter what, otherwise the TfL will not pay them as much. And now we're in traffic because there's road works here in that area, so it's 50 miles per hour limit. There is a lorry behind me. And that lorry just wants to go. He tried to overtake me, but he can't overtake me because we have speed limit at 56 miles per hour. So he tried to overtake me on the downhill, where he can exceed the speed limit. But over here, he's trying again the same thing. I don't know, you can be in a hurry, but come on, why? I don't know why you're in a hurry. It's a lorry. You have 56 miles per hour limit, no need to break the speed limit. That's legal for the lorries. Just overtake me. I'm not even loaded at the moment, like I literally dropped my load and I'm back to London now. But yeah guys, this is essentially the end of the video. I will just let the camera roll. If you wanna, you can watch just driving, but it's gonna be just plain driving from here on. I don't have much to say at the moment, except that next week I will finally be starting my class 1 training, so I will try to do some class 1 lorries because I want to see how it is. Always when you're driving, keep a distance and make sure that there is at least a car can fit if they want to change lanes or whatever. There is no need to tailgate anyone. Like I always keep a good distance so other road users can change lanes if they need to. Five minutes early or late don't make difference for me, and after all I'm paid by the hour, so I'm not concerned with time because I'm getting paid. Unlike the buses, I don't need to do a docket for overtime. I'm getting paid up to the minute from which I start and the minute from which I finish. Unlike the buses, where even if you start your shift 10 minutes early, if you are 10 minutes early for your shift, so you sign in 10 minutes early, they don't pay that 10 minutes. They don't care about you, and if you waste your time,